Welcome to the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Welcome to ITSP Magazine. Every company has a story to tell, from the small startup to the large enterprise, and everything in between. This is one of them. Knowledge is power, now more than ever.
Marco,
Sean,
we're in a different environment today.
we're home. That's the environment I've been for a while.
We're at home, but in a different streaming environment.
Yeah? Oh yeah, we're using another platform.
Yeah.
But you know what? In the end, we're doing the same
The
thing.
story is the
From
story.
home.
We're from home. I'm just wondering if it has different ports from the other one. One is a desktop app, the other one's a web app. I don't know. So who knows? I never scanned. Let's do a quick scan.
I
or
never
maybe
scanned.
maybe our guest already scanned for us and he knows the answer.
Oh, we're scanning everything.
I'm sure you are.
Well,
What
it's
was
just-
that stat? The whole internet gets scanned 10 times a minute or something? Somebody said the other day, Marco. Who said that? I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. But one of those 10 every minute is Chris, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of us saw.
Well, Chris is one of those in his company that does that, and then there is the other 99% of people that doesn't even know what such scan is, and they shouldn't.
Scan
have
what?
to.
Port what? Exactly.
They shouldn't have to. They have a different job.
They do have a job, and the fact is they go from home to the job, sometimes do the job from home, and the security team sitting at home, when they hear some of the numbers our guest is going to present today, they're going to go, what? We would never let that happen inside our own data center or on premises or even in our cloud. Why are we letting important people that work for us do that?
Well, we're sure going to go through some really impressive number, and we're going to do that with our friend Chris Pierson from BlackCloak. Hey, Chris.
There he is.
Hey, Sean. Hey, Marco. It's great to see you guys.
Stop scanning for a
Always.
minute and have a chat with us, would you?
We're turning off all scanning engines.
All right. And
This is
stop,
a podcast,
stop posting to Marco's MySpace.
This is a podcast, but you must envision that probably as we are looking at Chris and our video chat, it probably has 65 monitors in front of him, and everything is under control.
We're
not kidding.
definitely pumping up the power to the grid.
All right, so Sean, there is a new report.
There is, and it's all about. A good report has numbers, but a great report has a story with the numbers, and my impression is this has both. It's quantifying the business need for digital executive protection, and Chris and team evaluated a number of things and came up with some figures that individually will make you scratch your head. As I noted earlier, CISOs and security leaders and practitioners might be screaming when they hear some of these. We won't hear them, but some might scream. And but when you put them together, that's when it gets really interesting. So, Chris, what was the driver for this? Obviously, you see a lot of this information anecdotally, or individual clients and companies you work with, and you probably had a lot of this in your head going, this is obvious to us, but strange that it's so prevalent. So what was the catalyst behind doing the report to kind of bring some of this together?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Unlike there's survey data where you just say, hey, what is going on? What are you doing? What are you using? And the strength or weakness of that data is really up in the air. It might be your clients, might not be your clients, might be relevant, might not be. And then there's kind of what do you think it is? And I think it's probably worse than we thought it was. And then there's actual grabbing in the real raw data and statistics from actual corporate executives in our case. And so what we're able to do, and our research team was able to do, is actually analyze the aggregate level data that we have on just how bad is it in terms of the executive's footprint, in terms of their digital lives. Like what are the real risks that are out there, and how large is it for people that we onboard? So literally at time one or before they're coming on board, we're taking a look at what's happening. And then as soon as we're there, what do we see? And really it was let's get real numbers on real actionable items, no more conjecture, no more puff. Let's actually talk about real stats from real executives from real Fortune 1000 companies. Let's do that. And the data is, the data shines the light on a lot of things we need to talk about.
Well, in order to calculate risk, you have to have visibility into some stuff. So let's start there, because there are things we can look at within an organization, and security teams are well positioned and well trained to know what those things are. A lot of them carry over to the executive's home workplace and even their own home personal space in relation to the internet. What are the things that matter in that environment that are a one-to-one to the business, but maybe some things that may not be an obvious parallel for folks to think about?
So let's just start with the four walls of the company. Penetration test externally, right? Into the company's jewels, company's crown jewels, into their data, into their cloud infrastructure, whatever. On the penetration side, test for the business, fine, we all get it. How about the homes? The homes are actually living, breathing entities. The amount of equipment, cameras, smart home systems, they have business firewalls and routers in their homes and all the rest. So the patching and cadences, all the rest are the same and on par with businesses. So there's one thing there. That's, hey, can you actually get in from the outside into that environment? Another one would be, look, just the personal privacy. So can you actually reach out and dial the CEO's phone number at work? Well, can you reach out and dial the CEO's home number or the spouse, significant other, or their mobile cell phone numbers and literally be on the phone with them in a way where you can scam them, you can extort them, you can fraud them, you could gain or glean something. There's interesting things there in terms of the data that's out there. The other thing is, just like on the inside of the company, hey, do you have active malware on one or more devices, servers, all the rest? The same thing in terms of the other people. Newsflash, executives do have personal lives. They're just inextricably intertwined with the company, but they are personal devices, all the same risks, no team to back them up, no corporate solutions on those devices, and left wide open. And so, really, and also maybe just how about like online or account behavior, let's just say. At work, it's hey, everyone's got to have dual factor, for example, right? We got to be through and through single sign-on dual factor. Maybe it's a hardware token, whatever. What about their personal lives? Same thing. Their personal Gmail account is a treasure trove, tells everything about them, the husband, wife, spouse, kids, significant other. It's the same password they're using there as they are on their LinkedIn, and then the same password they're using in at the company with just an exclamation mark or a hyphen somewhere in there. So I think those are some things where it's like a lot of parallels, a lot of similar ways or thoughts about attacking them. And as a result, the data exposure there, now that's where it gets interesting. The data exposure on the inside of the company is going to be dramatically less. You got the CISO, you got the team to back them up, you got the right things. On the home environment, same risks. You got nothing.
So it's kind of like you lock the door, but you leave the window open, right? So we're talking about there's the risk for the home, but then it trickles into the business in the company, and then it affects the business itself. So
absolutely,
drop some numbers, please, because I leave you the honor to do that, because when I saw it, I was like, no, there gotta be a mistake here.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let me give you one number. This one's just earth shattering, because you could literally picture yourself as the CISO, and let's just say you had 100 remote locations, and you're there before the board and says, "Hey, how did all the pen tests go?" And you say, "Well, we were able to get into 23 out of 100 of locations. Like literally, some person was able to get out on the Wi-Fi network, whatever. We were able to get in." You'd probably be brushing up the resume, be doing a lot more LinkedIn posts, all the rest, really quickly.
It was the intern.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guess what? 23% of the executives onboarded to BlackCloak have open ports on their home network. And out of that total 100, so right, 23 of those homes wide open. Out of those, right, out of that whole 100, 20 of them, a team is able to get into 100%. Own the entire network, the whole thing. I think I might have told the story before, but team just went ahead and popped an entire home, 30,000 square foot home for an executive at a major financial institution. Got in through the, I was going to say the name of it, but the internet connected piano. It's one of those like that you see at a Four Seasons, something where the keys move up and down, and you can program them so they play music like at dinner parties, and such like that. I'm sure you both have some that are playing at your dinner parties. Look, home footprint. Got in through the internet connected piano. I'm sure it's a great piano, but brought a lot of pleasure and joy to them. Probably brought a lot of pleasure and joy to some other cyber criminals. Probably brought a lot of heartache. Actually, we affirmatively know it brought heartache to the CISO in terms of, oh my God, it was on the other side of the firewall. Oh my God, we suggested the right people, suggested the right this, suggested the right that. Thank you for the kind of double check. But 23%, big first number, 23% wide open ports.
And so let's be clear, because you said 23% wide open ports, access and control. Yep. Nothing special required there.
Yep. Right? Out of those 23, kind of homes executives, out of that 23, we were able to get into 20 of them.
20 of them. Okay.
And it could be default passwords. It could be unpatched. It could be credentials. It could be wrong setups. It could be direct port to port, number of different things. Usually it's through security cameras, smart home systems like Crestron, not the actual, there's nothing wrong with the systems. It's just how they're implemented. They weren't done securely. Firewalls and routers that are professional, but they're not updated. They're not patched. They're not correctly configured. And then some other issues as well. But I mean, we don't have piano is not the leading one for us, but I mean, once again, meaningful way in.
Yep.
Funny story. I have a piano that plays like that, but it's a ghost. It's not actually connected to the internet.
And it plays through the record player. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, the reason I was wondering about that, because not that malware is sophisticated, but it's another means to get control. Those didn't require any malware, but malware can be beneficial to a cyber criminal, a bad actor. And I know there's a stat on that, because that's more than just a network at that point, right?
Yeah, at that point in time, you have that entire computer, perhaps you have that entire account, you have the accounts that are on it. You can you actually have the network. You can pivot to anything from there. When we onboard, right? So all live real statistics, when our team onboards the executives, 27% of the time, I mean, it's almost, somewhere between a quarter and a third, 27% of the time, they have active malware on their device. We're not talking about, yesteryears, I love you bug from, what was it, Melissa from The Worm from 2003. We're not talking about, stuff that was at some point in time, there's an artifact. We're talking about live, actual malware on the computer. They don't have time for it, right? Too quick. It could be them, the husband, spouse, wife, kids, significant other. There's that device that is in there. But that 27%.
They're people.
It is. And what you're dealing with is the entire you're dealing with the entire family also, right? It's not just the executives. You're dealing with the spouse, significant other, and all the rest. Sometimes working, sometimes not working. But that footprint is huge. And it should not be 27%. And it's, yes, malware, ransomware, control the device, able to go ahead and, be spam bots and send people Viagra and all the rest of these types of things. Yes, absolutely. But it's also, quite honestly, when you've got that foothold and you're able to traverse that network and traverse those devices, you may get the personal trust and estate information on that executive, right? Stuff they don't want to expose, stuff that could cause problems for them and their familial unit, and then take them off of track of running the company, because now they're dealing with, why aren't I taking over the kids if you were to die or whatever? Why is so-and-so doing it? Why am I out of the will? There's a whole bunch of stuff there. Financial information. A number of companies have had doxing issues, have had executives targeted on it. And look, at the end of the day, personal, private, family, pictures, moments, all the rest. Once you have malware, you get a foothold. So super scary number. Should be, it's going to be higher than it should be, but it should not have been that high and shouldn't be that high.
I suspect it's not that high in the company.
We really, really hope not. Once again, career ending, if it was career ending for that CISO.
But I mean, as you go out there or you go to Amazon and you're like, oh, that's cute. I'm gonna need a piano to play by itself. I need a vacuum cleaner. I need a whatever it is, and you put it in there with zero knowledge. But if you're gonna try to do it in the company, they're gonna be like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, we can't go and tell to the C-level person for their family or their kids to say, hey, you can't do that. And like, who the hell are you to tell me that? So, how are we handling this? I mean, these are people that I'm reading a number here about password that I'm not surprised that 8% only have multi-factor authentication. So if you don't even understand that, how do you care about a camera that it's going to lick?
Yeah, that one was an earth-shattering number. These are, let's define our population: corporate executives, board of directors, C-suite, executive leadership team, key personnel. These are people that have VIP tech support inside the four walls of the company that sometimes will get the cybersecurity education, training read to them, shown to them. They sit with someone. It is absolutely concierge on the inside of the company. The CISO and the teams do an amazing job. So they know, right? They know, they have a basis of understanding of what things should look like. They know. Yet in their personal lives, it's like, Marco, you remember when you were young and your mom says, hey, if you eat like that at the table, when you go out to the restaurant, you're going to eat like that too. And I'm not going out with you if you're going to do that. Well, it's the inverse. Right? It's the inverse, right? It's like they're behaving, forced to behave well at the company, but it's like they go back in at home and it's sloppy. 8% multi-factor. And we count multi-factor as SMS authentication, right? Just not username and password. So it's anything. It could be multi-factor through SMS, through an authenticator, a hardware authenticator, an actual physical token. Any one of those count. 8%. This means their personal Gmail account, means their LinkedIn account. The companies, when the social media takeovers occur, which we've had WhatsApp taken over, we've had LinkedIn and Twitter and feeds and all the rest taken over and held hostage. When those happen, the company is the one that general counsel spun up, HR has spun up, CISO has spun up. Those are huge issues, and they can, all of them, every single one of our account takeovers, every single one could have been prevented through multi-factor authentication that is inherent within the actual app environment themselves, within the actual capabilities, whatever it is they're doing.
Let me read this. 68% write down their password on personal notebooks or store them in their contacts list on their phone. It reminds me, my grandmother used to hide the keys under the mat in front of the door. Take it.
You go to the contacts list, and actually literally there's an entry for passwords on their phone in their contacts. We'll talk iPhone because most people are going to be on that. Just go to contacts, go to password, and it has a little string of all the username is going to be their email address. And it literally has, Delta, password, Four Seasons, password, Gmail, password, all right there. Sometimes it's just a few. It's like 3 of them because they rotate them and they just try them each until they log in. But it is absolutely uncanny. You're literally talking 2/3 of corporate executives that are in the Fortune 1000. We have actual knowledge, not self-reported, actual knowledge. We've seen it. We witness it in their contact list or being written down in their little black book.
And I don't know, when part of me and maybe part of those minds of people listening are thinking, well, what the heck is going on? And it's about education, right? And I know, Marco, you and I have had this conversation around the culture of security in the business and transferring that to the home. And I mean, that's basically what we're talking about here, right? I mean, it's not a slap against them that
no, we're
they're
not making fun.
They're ignorant, or it's not we're not making fun. It's just a matter of an understanding and maybe some help to say that port doesn't need to be open. That piano, super cool. Even in your executive office, great, bring it in. But this is what we're going to do to protect it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the cool thing. Right, executives are all interested in the topic of cybersecurity. They all want to do good cyber hygiene in the inside of the company. Because sometimes answers in terms of personal life are at no, you can't do that, you can't do this, can't do this, can't do that. Right? That all is their personal life. They can do whatever they want to. What we really need to do is have that shim. It's like, you don't have a company doctor, a doctor hired by the company that goes ahead and does your physicals and stuff like that. You get your own person, right? They'll talk to you, they'll help you. They are there. Same thing in terms of your finances. The CFO doesn't go, deal with all your personal investments and 401k and stuff like that. You've got your person. You've got your concierge person that's going to go and take care of your financial health, your physical health, and same thing in the cyber health side. It has to be an enabling them to get to success with them using the technology that they want to, how they want to do it. If they want to LinkedIn, if they want to tweet, if they want to TikTok, if they want to have Amazon Alexas in every single room, including the bathroom, those are the decisions. It's only about making sure that they can't be penetrated from a hacking perspective, a privacy perspective, and taken advantage of there, take corporate secrets being taken, intellectual property, or using it as a jumping off point for the corporate laptop, which is inside the home, or back into the actual company itself. It's like, you guys remember back in, LinkedIn, that was what, the main avenue of import in there was a web server that was being run on an individual's personal home, bounced around from one computer to another, got into the corporate computer, and then into the actual accounts there. I mean, you have to be able to think a little more broadly there. And that personal space and personal life aspect of it is huge. It's enormous. And you can't go ahead and whack-a-mole it with corporate security. It's got to be a little bit of a different partnership.
You said something, and we talked about this before, like, the CISO can't invite the privacy. There are limits, there are boundaries between the company and private life. But you also say, you don't hire their doctor, they hire their own. And if they have a problem, they go to the doctor. So if the car breaks, they don't need to know how to fix it. They'll screw it. Let's go to the dealer. They'll give me a loaner, and I'm going to drive another BMW or Mercedes or whatever it is that they drive, right? So the solution here is, I don't think they're going to really worry about that. They're not going to become their own IT, right? Yeah. Their own security. So
you don't want
this is where, BlackCloak come into place. So some example of how you take that role.
Yeah, so think about it. I'll give you an example. So think about it this way, is the CISO, the cybersecurity team, sometimes the chief security officer from an executive protection perspective, they are responsible for the four walls of the company, what happens in and on corporate devices, corporate email, all the rest. The fact of the matter is that what happens in the other 12 hours of the day, it's a soft underbelly of the company, soft underbelly from an attack surface perspective. But you can't use corporate personnel to solve it. Privacy, legal risks, also quite honestly, right? Company resources for personal life, not good. They've done this before. They've done this in healthcare with the Mayo Clinic concierge physicals. They've done it in terms of travel protection, right? Physical travel protection and air evacuation, emergency protection and stuff like that. All benefits and items that actually make sure that the executive is protected. Therefore, the company is protected. Therefore, the family is protected. But it's done separately and by a separate group that is only focused on that. And as a result, has different tools available, has different thresholds available, and is able to be that personal private concierge. It's the example of the wealth management. You don't really walk into the CFO's office and, hey, I want to talk to you about how much money I lost in my 401k. Can you help me analyze and assess? He's like, no. He's like, how many 401ks? What's your average? What's your, how much money do you have? What's this? Are you Gen 1, Gen 2, No, it's none of the works business. But you do go to your wealth manager, your private wealth manager. You do go to them and you do have that conversation of, let me tell you everything that's going on so you can help make sure I'm on the road to financial success. Same thing in terms of cyber. Same thing in terms of digital executive protection. Protect the executive in their personal life, privacy, devices, home, peace of mind. You, the CISO, gain the benefit from that. You offboard the pain, offboard that pain. And you also get insight and visibility at an aggregate level. No data whatsoever, no details whatsoever that are specific to any one person. You get that aggregate data so you know that things are being taken care of and that attack surface has been shrunk. And the report, I'm a little surprised the numbers are as high as they are in some areas. Quite honestly, but that's a great thing. All real data from real items, real incidents, real tickets have been created to correct things as opposed to self-reported data. And it's we gotta solve it. There's a path forward. There are solutions, right? There is a solution to this. There's a path forward. It can be solved. especially in this day and age of where everyone is remote work, everyone's working more from home, regardless of your internal policies. And so as a result, your personal devices are going to be more accessible, more there in that home network and all the rest. So, yeah.
Yeah, great points, Chris. And I'll make a couple points as we wrap here, which, just using the wealth management one, I can imagine wealthy people, they don't go in and say, help me protect my money from getting stolen. That's not the conversation they go into a wealth management meeting with. It's how do I at least maintain what I have and grow it to some level of aggressiveness based on their appetite for risk. And then in behind the scenes, it's about managing the risk to allow that growth to happen and to ensure that some level is maintained. I think there's a parallel there for this as well. So recognize that you want to succeed in business and succeed as a family. And that includes somebody helping you manage the risk. And the other point I want to make is that while the numbers show that a lot of the people and environments have challenges to overcome, still some might say, well, I think I'm in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And have a view of being exempt from this world of potential pain. And there's one more data point in the report, which that speaks to the data brokers having information on folks. And let's just say if somebody wants to know who you are and where you are and what you have and find those open ports, the data is here to show that can happen.
The data, look, there's no hiding. There's no security through obscurity. Executives are in plain sight. 99% of their information pure up on data broker websites. The only reason it's actually 100%, but I mean, we have that one little 99.9 in there. And then 40% of their IP addresses publicly available. You can reach out to touch 4 out of 10 corporate executives without doing any reconnaissance, special phishing, or all the rest. It is scary. Here's the cool thing, because it shouldn't be all. Here's the coolest thing ever: is it can all be solved. This risk can be absolutely solved and done correctly. It can start on day one, and you see immediate returns. It can be solved. It can be controlled. We don't have to stick our heads in the sand anymore. We can actually tackle it and gain some meaningful risk mitigation, not only to the executive and their family, but also back into the company.
Yeah. So I would say executives, leadership teams, and especially security leaders, that includes you CISOs, get your hands on this report so you have a view of what your executives and high profile employees might be facing that have an impact on your own organization and operations.
And come talk to us. We'll be we'll have some of the researchers there at the Black Hat conference and stuff to talk about this report and some more findings. I mean, come talk to us. Download the report, read the report. Yeah.
So you're going to be at Black Hat. I know you were at RSA conference. We had some conversation with you. How can people get in touch with you there?
Yeah, look, we will have, so first of all, we'll be there. We'll have a booth, we'll have a presence. We're going to have a bunch of people there. Second, some of the researchers that actually did the research for this report, authored, they're actually going to be there in person. So meet with us. We're going to have a lot of things going on. And as you guys know, man, look, cybersecurity is a human sport. Being there and having the people there, I was a former CISO, having the CISOs, the community there, being able to talk and chat, and the threat folks that are there and the SOC people that are there. That's what it's all about in terms of all those communities. So really, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Likewise. And Chris, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. And it's great to see that not only is the company growing and succeeding, but you have information like this to help others learn more about what some of these challenges are and how you and your team can help them. So I'm interested to meet some of the researchers that saw the sticky notes with passwords firsthand.
Oh gosh, we got stories.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Chris. Take care.
All right. So everybody listening, there'll be show notes, link to the reports, and how to connect with Chris and the team at BlackCloak. Stay tuned for more.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you learned something new and this story made you think, then share itspmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.